It seemed normal to have to ask for money for nappies. It wasn't like I was crying going, this isn't right. I'd been broken down to the point, I should have managed the nappies better.
Everything I did and every decision I made was what I thought was going to make him happy and keep this volatile person calm.
I was so fearful that that response would happen again, and I just didn't think I could take that. It was easier for me to just continue to be abused financially or manipulated financially than it was to address it.
So the different forms of abuse usually kind of go hand in hand, and there's not usually just one without another form as well.
Physically, mentally, emotionally, verbally abuse. I always say all of those abuses are the cage, but the financial abuse is the padlock.
So when we first met, he was really nice and charming and funny, and we got along really well.
He was confident and charismatic and friendly and went over and above and just set this fairy tale scene right from the beginning.
So it went from a couple of first dates to within a few weeks he'd moved in, and then not long after that we were pregnant.
From somebody I'd just met to the most important person in my life was quick, really quick. And then I wasn't buying a house. We were going to buy a bigger house together because if we put all our money together. So I'm like, property's cheap at the moment. That does make sense because we can make bigger mortgage payments. And the next thing I know, within a couple of years, I've got this mortgage that I can't afford on my own.
About 4 weeks in, there was really subtle changes in behaviour. And it was things like, up to 10 phone calls a day, just calling to check in and say hi, or finding out who I was with or what I was doing or what time I worked. Looking back on it now, you go, well, that was the start.
We both lived with disability and we both relied on that for an income. I wasn't really great with technology, so he came in and he had a computer and it's like, I can do all of this, I understand it all, leave it to me. He took over paying bills as everything sort of shifted to online, and it kept getting put on me that I wasn't clever enough or I wasn't smart enough to understand that technology or how the internet worked or how to pay a bill online.
All the loans would go in my name. So, apart from mortgage, everything was in my name, so there was no harm to him if they didn't get paid.
And it was things like, your account is the only account with money going into it regularly. We'll have all of our direct debits coming out of your account. We'll have the rent coming out of your account. We'll have bills coming out of your account. Everything is in my name.
The bank we were with would keep sending me letters saying, your balance, and I wasn't earning, I was on zero income at that point, but they would send letters that obviously he opened saying, we can put your limit up to 5,000, we can put it up to 10,000, we can put it up to 15. And he would literally say, sign or starve, your choice.
I was in hospital having treatment and it was, not well at all. And I've got a tube up my nose and he comes in with an estate agent with paperwork for me to sign to sell my house. And a really confronting moment. And then he mentions, by the way, I put a deposit on another house.
I think there's a couple of things that stopped me from speaking up before I did. Number one, it's easy to pretend it doesn't happen if no one else knows. Number two, I guess I didn't want my family to know because I didn't want them to judge him. What I was probably most scared of is that it would get back to him and what that would mean for me.
Once I'd left, it was clear a lot of my friends knew and they were very worried about me and were doing things to help me I was unaware of, but nobody talked to me about it. But it was a different world back then.
If you suspect that you're experiencing financial abuse or that someone close to you is, you can call 1-800-RESPECT. We can link you in to a financial counsellor. There's financial counsellors all over Australia and they can provide advice, information and strategies to help you with your specific circumstances.